Welcome to the ZoCo Podcast. I am Cody.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm, Alex after all.
Hey,
What?
that's a familiar sound.
Hey, I made it for once.
About time. You've been busy the last couple weeks. What have you been up to?
What haven't I been up to is a better question. You know, moving and trying to establish yourself, a whole livelihood kind of thing, it takes some time. So, yeah, I've been a little preoccupied, a little bit of here and there, a lot of errands, a lot of settling in, making new friends, doing what I can, but all is well, so.
Nice.
Moving's never fun,
No.
Yeah, that's true.
especially when you have tons of stuff to move. But I think you're pretty good there.
Well, I had
Well, you didn't have a
one
computer.
carload, not too bad.
What else? How's work going? You got your new job. You're actually a working man now.
Yeah, you can't make fun of me about work anymore. What are you going to do?
We'll find
I'm-
something else.
I'm sure I'll find something else.
I'm sure you will. But work is good.
You married yet?
No, not yet, but I'm working on that too.
Oh gosh. He's one of them people.
But work is good. Work is really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm a good fit here. Everything they've asked me to do so far, I've been able to do. And I am learning some new things. So it's very, very good.
Yeah, we actually haven't been in too much contact. We don't know much about, what's going on. I think we've all been pretty busy, but
Generally. I mean, school's starting up for me on Monday.
yep, I started school 2 weeks ago. Last week?
Last week, I thought.
Yeah. I've been to 2 classes. I don't know. But yeah, it's a bad start when the book costs just as much as the class.
Oh, gosh.
Woof.
So, and we're talking about community college, so the classes don't cost that much money.
Yeah.
But, this was a $160 book
Whew.
for a $170 class. So,
Well, that's definitely not good.
There's
little rough.
$300 down the drain.
yeah, one class. That's without the parking permit, too. Because I figured it would be cheaper to just pay the daily parking,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm only going to class once a week. So, it's cheaper for me to pay the daily parking rather than just flat out buy the permit, because it's a $50 permit, or I spend like $2 a week
Mm-hmm.
for, I figured without the holidays and things like that, I spent like $26 instead of $50. So
Yeah. Welcome to the college life.
that's college math for you.
You didn't mention what class you're taking. Do you mind if I hadn't heard, so.
Yeah, I talked about it on last week's podcast when you weren't
Oh.
here, but it's business math. So I'm gonna be starting my business classes because my brother and I are gonna be starting a business. So
Awesome.
I do need to start my business classes. So that's what I'll be doing from now on, and hopefully, get a couple certificates out of the way as well.
Well, very, very cool.
Yeah, this is my last general ed class. It's just the English class, and then it should be business from here on.
And I'm done.
Yeah, tell me more about having your own place to live.
Well, you found something. I'll have a place to live here in about a week, so that won't last long.
I'll get back to you in a week. Yeah, the only thing we know from Alex is his little Jones soda tops, which we talked about last week on the podcast when
Yeah.
you weren't here.
Last week,
I'm going to keep bringing it up.
Last week I intended to be there, but I got roped into working on a hay shed and then could not participate whatsoever. So
You also plan on being there the week prior to that, and then something else came up.
the week prior, no, I told you I was going to go to a wedding. You knew that one. You just forgot.
Wait a second. Look, you're the one with the goldfish memory here. Good stuff. So, yeah, we've been working on our projects. We got the podcast. We've been working on the Wither Challenge, which you'll have to find
You'll
out
have to find out
how
for
that went through those videos. But
Well, I'll be
They
watching
are
them, so I'm
pretty good.
interested.
they're pretty good. I'll be putting those out pretty soon. I want to get a couple in the queue before we started posting them.
Yeah.
But we have it all working out. We got everything working, so we are recording.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which we did record for a while today and found out it didn't record.
Yeah, I think that may have been a user error. I may have.
I thought you pressed it though,
Yeah,
but maybe not.
I may have confused our test recording for our actual recording,
Well, that
and then
sucks.
just kept going without actually hitting record.
Dang, that's the
So-
worst.
That's okay though. It didn't really matter.
No, well, we didn't lose anything. All we
Yeah.
lost was mining and building. So
But you have to see what we built.
yeah, it's we determined that what we lost is okay because it's just like temporary. It would have been like
It was a lot
good
of
fast
filler.
forward stuff.
It was a lot of filler stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there's worse things, I guess.
So it'll transition fine, and number
Which-
2 will come across.
Which
well.
I think number 2, the new one, is a lot better.
Yeah,
anyway.
the second one is definitely the second number 2 is a lot better.
That's gonna be so intense.
It's yeah. I need to edit it. I should probably start editing, put it out next week, so
Yeah.
so that we can get to number 2 faster, because that was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I've got a couple videos of my own. I'll have probably about 3 out this week, which will be already out by the time this comes out. But yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Sweet.
Sweet. What kind of videos are you working on?
I'm jumping back into my tutorials, so any little tidbit of information that I can share that might be interesting or useful to someone, I'm going to put out. So
Awesome.
Nice. We're also going to be starting to work on Flash, and we're
Hey,
hoping
that's
to work
good.
on a couple things with Flash.
Yeah. Just
So
need to find the time for it.
yeah, and right now I think the weekends are what we're mostly doing.
Yeah.
Is just as long as we can get together on the weekends. I don't want everything to come out on Saturday though, so I'll probably be posting the Wither challenge someday during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
whenever I figure out a good day for that, I'll announce that, and then I'll put out the actual video.
yeah, that sounds awesome.
It would be nice to have things staggered and not like just bombarded.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, if I can find the time to actually record a Trevor fails, we can also add that in the mix. I just
Well.
haven't had the time lately.
Now you have your
And
intro
it's gonna
now.
get
And
busier.
you're all good to go, I think. So
Yeah, so I'm good set to go on that. So that should be I should start putting videos out for that soon. So
well, fantastic. A lot of good things in the works right now. So I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, we're actually doing pretty good, I'd say. So I'd call myself a USC fan, okay, but not like a major USC fan, and I like college football. I'm not an NFL guy, and I know you guys aren't football people,
Nerd.
I'm not sports people.
but I'm going to bring. You're calling me a nerd? You're the one with the tech corner over here. So, I guess I'm just really talking to the audience at this point. But USC played Alabama last week, which, according to this podcast, by the time it comes out, was 2 weeks ago. And they got crushed. It was like 52-6.
Oh,
But that was kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
They're playing the number 1 team. Like,
Yeah.
it's Alabama, the Crimson Tide. They're on a roll. And USC, they're under stress right now. And then so this week they played Utah State, and pretty much they did what Alabama did to them, 45-7.
dang.
So that's actually, I don't know. I didn't watch the game, but I'm just looking at it right now. And yeah, so that's a lot better. But still,
Yikes.
I don't know. USC's going to have a challenge for a little bit. They need a steady coach and a good coach.
Sounds like a handful of fun there.
But football season's back, and so I'm happy to be able to watch that again.
I don't watch TV.
Well, I don't watch TV, but yeah.
These are the guys wearing them football pads, right? What did I call them before? The football uniforms or something?
Yeah, football uniform. That was like shout out to podcast 3.
Oh boy.
Alex was talking about something, and he was like, "Yeah, those football guys wear uniform, like their football
Okay,
uniforms."
no, I remember that now.
No, those are called football pads.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Boy.
Am I the only one that played sports
No, I played track and field.
I did swim
for like a year?
for like 3 years. What are you talking about? I was on the varsity team, mind you.
Yeah, because there was no one else in your swim.
Okay, well, I didn't have to finish that part, but yeah.
What'd you do? Choose the most obscure swim you could do, like the backstroke?
No, I was a short distance sprinter, still am.
There you go.
Oh man! Wait, sprinter?
Sprinter, like freestyle, 50 meters
Like,
to 100 meters.
How do you sprint in the water?
When you're doing a short distance, when it's not about endurance, you just go. There's a big difference between a 50 meter and a 500.
Yeah, I did track and field. Surprisingly, I'm a big guy, and I did the 100-meter sprint. I wasn't that good, but I did it just to do it. And then I did shot put and discus. And then I did wrestling and football.
Yeah, I did hurdles.
Really? You're actually not like that tall of a person to do hurdles.
I wasn't the shortest.
Usually they got some height.
No, I've seen like 5'5" guys hurdle.
Okay, so there's a total technique to hurdles. Like, you don't know this until you become a hurdle runner.
Yep.
Hurdler.
And
we had one guy.
A hurdler.
A hurdler.
I'm going to use that in everyday
Hurdler.
conversation from now on. That's fantastic.
All right.
You do that.
So we had one guy from the football team who was just this stupidest guy on the football team. And he was doing the hurdles. And when he would run, he would jump both feet in the air at the same time over the hurdle, which is like the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
Because he did really good probably 3/4 of the lap. And he had a good, gap between him and second place. But he'd get to about, a quarter left on the track and he'd die. It was too tiring. Because there's a form in hurdles.
Well, it's literally what it is with hurdles. You're not jumping over the hurdles. You're running over the
you're
hurdles.
running over it.
That's
But
literally all it is.
Jumping makes you tired, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Props to them.
So he was not a very good hurdler then.
No, not a very
No.
good hurdler.
He was a jumper.
Very good jumper, though.
Different sport entirely.
It's funny how, track and field is all about let's take medieval times and make it a sport. Like shot put and discus. Those are weapons. It's like, okay, let's just shave off the edges of the discus so it's not that, sharp, and then we'll just throw it. And shot put is like a cannonball. It's like a last-minute resort.
Oh, yeah, javelin too. We don't have it here in California, but
No, it's actually been outlawed in California because it kills people.
yeah, it has been known to skewer people.
Along with hammer throw.
Well, you also have pole vault, which is basically like it's supposed to
Jumping
be
over walls.
getting over walls.
Hurdlers, you got to run through obstacles and jump over them.
Yeah, it's all the Greek Macedonian war.
Yeah, well, okay, here's a funny thing. The marathon, do you know where the marathon comes from?
I believe so.
It's a guy who ran from Athens to Marathon.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a place called Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know the distance between these two countries? Or these two places?
5K.
20K.
20K.
Not quite. It was 24 miles.
24 miles. Okay.
Later on, it was changed because at some point the Queen, when the Olympics was being held, I think it was the Olympics, was being held in England, she wanted to watch the runners. She wanted to drive behind them. So for 2.2 miles, she drove behind them, making a marathon 26.2 miles. Dumb.
Interesting.
So, well, and that's the funny thing is because the first guy that ran this, the guy that ran from I think it was Athens to Marathon, he died.
During
The
the
dude
marathon
died.
or what?
No. Like he got to Marathon, and then when he got there, delivered his message, he died. So thousands of years later, what are we doing? let's do what this guy who died did and run.
Well,
Oh boy.
takes all kinds, I suppose.
And then you see the stickers on everyone's car, right? The 26.2 miles.
Mhm.
And then you see the half marathons, the 13.1s. But there's my favorite, which is the 0.0s. That's my marathon. I'm not much of a runner. I'm kind of a big guy. It ain't my thing.
Did either of you watch much of the Olympics?
No,
No.
I don't. Again, I don't watch TV.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't care. It's I don't think that subjective scoring should be a part of the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't watch much of them myself. I learned something new that I thought was funny that I wanted to share with you in case you didn't know. Because we mentioned all these different sports, shot put, javelin, discus, all track and field stuff, swimming, running, it's all there. And it all makes sense, right? Those are all pretty common sports that came from somewhere throughout history. They have some historical means, or they just developed into modern day sports. But did you know that trampoline is also an Olympic sport?
See, that shouldn't be, because that to me falls under like floor gymnastics. But now you take the fat people who can't actually do jumps and stuff, so you give them a little bit of a bouncy subject.
I don't know how long it's been around. I didn't learn that part, but saw it for the very first time. Trampoline as an Olympic sport, and you just jump up and down on the trampoline and do tricks and things and land them and whatever else.
Actually, I may have known this. I had a teacher whose son was a professional trampoliner.
Trampolinist? I don't know.
He was working towards the Olympics. The
Got
dude
hurt.
was like 9, and he was preparing for the Olympics. Well, not actually the Olympics, but his goal was eventually to get to the Olympics.
So we got hurdlers and trampoliners.
Hurdlers, trampoliners, and then you got the worst ones, the sprinters. Okay, not the runner sprinters, the bicyclists. Have you seen that?
Okay, yeah.
They go around this tiny wooden track, and
Oh,
it's like the opposite of sprinting.
yeah.
They don't move. They like go as slow as they can, and I think it's like 2 laps. But that first lap, they're going like half a mile an hour, and they're like trying to make the other one fall. I think because if the other one falls, they lose. But who was the first guy that did this? Who was like, out of the gate, I'm not moving, and the other guy's like, well then if you're not moving, I'm not moving, and then it was like, but I gotta kind of move. Why don't you just like go? I don't get it. It's retarded. If you watch it, like look up YouTube, Olympic. Wow,
Cycling.
I don't even remember like Olympic sprinting, and you'll see videos of them like not moving. I don't get it.
That's interesting.
That and curling.
I will look that up.
Curling's kind of a fake sport too. I'm offending so many people today on this podcast.
Not a fan of the Canadians, eh?
Oh yeah.
Look, you throw a giant rock and then you sweep. That's not a sport.
I won't say I haven't done it. So
Oh, so you've done it, huh? Silence means yes. That is assumed.
there's a moose loose in the hoose.
Are you Canadian, eh?
Maybe, eh?
From Canada?
From Canada.
Don't wanna be Canadian, idiot.
Well, you're the closest one to Canada
You are
from all of
actually.
us.
I think you're starting to dig up my story now.
You also lived for 2 years really close. Plus an additional couple more years really close.
Well, I do like maple syrup.
It's syrup.
What about a boot?
A boot?
What are you talking about? We're on a rampage of
Oh
offending
boy.
people now.
It's okay, Canada. We love you.
Do you want to bring up the British people? Would you like some fish and chips?
You British now?
Aye, laddie. I'm one of them Scottish people now.
So what is... I've never had a chance, and maybe one of you two know, what is the accent that British people give Americans? Is it like dude, like hey dude?
It's
or-
Southern. If you ask a British person to do a American accent, they automatically go Southern. They automatically
So,
go
like-
to the, hey y'all, let's go get some beer. There's three things that foreigners think of Americans. That's fat, loud, and obnoxious.
Yep.
And I don't know. You think about the South, and that's pretty true.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know. I think we got some foreign listeners. How about you guys leave some comments in the comment section and let us know what you think of Americans.
The comments in the comment section.
Yep. And likes in the like section. And the dislikes you can keep to yourself.
This looks like you can give it to someone else.
The dislikes, yeah, go put those on another person's video. We don't want those. There's no room for that in our page. Did you know that there's you know how in America we have
In America.
like in America we have like 5 basic phone companies, right?
Apple.
Right. Okay, good. No, like
yeah,
providers.
I suppose.
Oh,
Yeah.
providers.
We've
oh,
got
okay, providers.
AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, like those are the big ones, and then like Metro,
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile,
T-Mobile, yeah.
and that's about it. That's like all we have. In Europe, there's like 1,000 different phone companies.
Oh, gosh.
You can get like tons. It's crazy.
Yeah, but does the coverage go intertwining?
I think it's better. I think their coverage is better. Like there are no spots in their entire country. Granted, their country is, an island. But but yeah, I mean like they have way better choices. They have better like cheaper choices. They have better coverage. You look at maps that we have and it's like yeah, we have the best network in the United States, and there's so many blacked out spots.
Then again, we also have, if you actually look at a satellite visual of the United States, there's a lot of space in between each.
Well, yeah, that's
City.
true.
There's a lot of space in America that's not covered. Yeah, the whole thing about overpopulation and lack of resources, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Send everyone to the Amazon forest.
There are some programs being set up to combat such things, though, even here in America. Have you heard of Google Fi?
Is that Google Fiber?
No, not Google Fiber. I guess it's also called Project Fi, but it's from Google, and Google is becoming a cell phone provider service. Did you know that?
Wow.
Yeah, because I know they have Google phones, but those are generally like through a specific service.
Yeah.
So Google Fi, or Project Fi, is basically Google becoming your provider, and you pay from them, and you get unlimited talk and text, and it's like a service fee of $20 a month plus unlimited talk and text, and then you pay $10 for every gig that you want to use. So say I wanted to get 2 gigs, I pay $40 a month. Now, the next question would be, well, how good's the service? 'Cause that's pretty dang cheap for a phone and for service, right? I mean, what do you pay for your phone right now?
Well, because I bought my phone along with the plan, so including the plan and the phone, it's $90 a month.
Okay.
When the phone is paid off, it'll be $60. So the plan is for $60.
That's still not bad, yeah. So if I wanted to get, and I'm actually planning on making that switch to Project Fi to go with Google. They have coverage in my area. They have coverage everywhere. Because here's the trick. Let's say that you bought a phone and you wanted to get a Verizon coverage plan, and so you did. You use Verizon towers, or you wanted to get an AT&T coverage plan. You use AT&T towers. Google has partnered with multiple companies. Now I'm still trying to find out which ones, but they're saying there's more than one. So you're using multiple companies' towers. That could be Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, all of them. I don't know which ones, but their coverage map is fantastic, and their plan is so dang cheap. The only real catch is that you have to buy a particular phone, which is the hard part, I suppose. But once you have it, it's, you can get it down to about $30 a month, unlimited talk, text, and
Wow.
1 gig of data.
See, I use a lot of data, so I would be spending my money on the data.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on switching over for the 2 gigs and maybe even the 1, because I hardly use any data. And then I could save myself a ton of money on that. but you have to buy one of their 2 Google phones. Like Trevor was mentioning, they have Google phones, which Nexus is one of them. So the Nexus 5X or the Nexus 5P. And the 5X is only like $250 for a 16 gig, which isn't bad. And then the 5P, which is the new one, is like $500 for the 32, I think. But I mean, $250 for a new phone and then a super cheap $30 plan a month. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, because I think my phone, I have an iPhone 6S, and it's a $700 phone, I think.
Dang. Oh,
So
Yeah.
that makes me cringe, man.
Yep, it's a pocket burner, that's for sure. But-
Oh, man.
Did you guys hear about the new iPhone though? iPhone
Oh,
7?
don't get me started on the new iPhone 7. I've been ranting about this all week.
I have not heard.
Okay. So
well,
the new,
let the rant begin.
Rant
so
begins
the new
now.
iPhone 7.
3, 2, 1, unleash the Trevor.
So the new iPhone 7 was announced recently. And the number one issue I have with it already, and that everybody else is having with it, is there is no headphone jack.
None at all?
There is no headphone jack,
Because they sell along with it the Bluetooth speakers,
which are $159.
Bluetooth headphones.
So you buy the phone and these Bluetooth headphones. You don't buy them as a kit. So you're looking at what,
Yes.
like $1,000 set then for a phone?
Yeah, you're looking
Probably,
at
yeah.
about like $1,000 to $1,200 just to get like
No.
the new
Oh,
Well,
you're hurting
that's
my soul,
if you get
man.
their,
You're
if
hurting
you-
my
their
soul.
Bluetooth headphones.
if you get the
You can get other Bluetooth headphones.
You can,
You
but
don't
they're
have
still
to
not.
buy
They're
there.
not cheap though. No matter where you get them, Bluetooth headsets are not cheap.
yeah, no. And that's like the biggest thing on the internet right now is there's just constant memes about this, people making fun of it. And I actually watched the video that was like the shortened version of the announcement, and they even were like all like trying to make it sound like, oh, and those the headphone jack that's like 1,000 years old, we got rid of it. So in other words, they're basically trying to push this, trying to get everybody to follow them.
Welcome to Apple. Like,
Where
that's their whole goal.
Whereas this is not the first time something like this has happened. With the Game Boy Advanced SP for Nintendo, that was the first Game Boy that did not have a headphone jack, and you had to buy a separate accessory, which is the same thing with the iPhone. If you want a headphone jack, you have to buy a separate accessory in order to plug in your headphones.
Yes.
So, Apple is the abusive husband, and we are all the battered wife. We sit there and take it because Apple tells you what you want.
Yeah.
Hence the reason I have a PC and not a Mac, because I choose freedom over stability.
Then why do you have an Apple phone, my friend?
Because I made a last-minute decision the day I got home from my mission.
You fool.
I went with what I knew because I had iPhones and I had all my music on iTunes. It's the one program I knew, and so I just went with it.
Yeah.
So
All right. Yeah, I had not heard any of that. That's all news to me, but I definitely don't agree with it, just mostly in terms of cost, in terms of $1,000 for a phone plus a headset plus whatever else you need.
Yeah.
I will say Mac has a beautiful elegance about it, like they're all in ones, no cables, nothing except for a power cable, and now they're going the same way with the phones. Wireless charging, and now no headphone cables, which there's an elegance to it. It's not worth the money, though.
Yeah.
It hurts my soul.
yeah, not a grand.
Yeah, no. One of the biggest memes out there right now is people are like taking the iPhone headphones that come with it normally. They're cutting off the wires and just saying, "Hey, look, I saved $159. Take that, Apple."
Oh man.
That's great.
I don't know. I used to be neutral about Apple before, but in the past recent years, I've been kind of getting more and more disappointed by their decisions because they're not a bad company. The problem,
Steve Jobs died. That's
that's
what
the problem.
happened.
That's the problem.
So there, Steve Jobs, and it was along with another person. They pushed for design. They wanted design. Do you remember Game Room on the iPhone? The Game Room had a felt look. It
Mhm.
had like color. It was very. Everything was designed,
Mhm.
but everybody else wanted simplicity. And as soon as Steve Jobs died and the other guy got fired, they went And that's when I believe it was iOS 7. I think it all changed. It got so plain and it was all white. Everything was just changed to white.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ugly. And even still, like, everything's so basic now.
Yeah.
And in a world where everything is so designed, everything has so much detail, Apple has gone and done the opposite. And that's what they continue to do. They go against the grain. And for some reason, there are so many people that still support it.
Yeah.
They have a cult following pretty much, so.
Or you have the guy who goes day one launch and buys the brand new phone, walks outside, opens the case, and throws a brand new phone, iPad, watch, or whatever on the ground and destroys it.
Heck, I think I would, I don't know, I won't say that I would do that, but it sounds amusing to see the line's reaction if someone were to do that.
You are a troll. Why would you waste so much money?
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't do it unless I had money to waste, which I don't see happening.
That is so much
therefore,
money.
I won't be doing it.
Yeah.
But to see the reaction of people in line, that would be priceless. I've been pretty content so far. I'm still sporting my Nexus 5, but I do intend to go up to the Nexus 5X so that I can jump onto Google Fi or Project Fi here pretty soon. And if I sell this one off for $100 and pick up one of those for $250, that's only a $150 phone. Not bad. But
yeah, let us know how that goes.
I've really been enjoying this phone a ton. I talked a bit about before, I guess kind of in passing, jailbreaking and rooting phones. Jailbreaking's for iPhones and rooting's for Android. But I've recently rerouted my phone, and I've flashed another ROM onto it, a custom ROM, which is the Cyanogen 13, which is one of the new ones. And so do you know what flashing ROMs is for phones, either of you?
No.
So when you buy a phone, it comes with an operating system. And that's, it's called a ROM, in other words. And people will take these operating systems, they will deconstruct them, make changes to them, add their own changes, improvements, and also remove bloatware, things that come on the phone by default, things you can't normally get rid of. And they will remove this stuff. And so when you install this new custom ROM, this flashed ROM, it will not have all the crap you don't want, but have a bunch of new features that you do want. So the new Cyanogen Mod 13, ROM 13, gets rid of pretty much all the Google apps I never use, but never could delete before. So it speeds up the phone, removes a bunch of bloat and crap like that, and it comes with all sorts of theme features, so the phone looks fantastic. It feels like a completely new phone, and I love it.
So that's like Linux.
It's very much like Linux, just very customizable, just very open.
See, I want to learn how to write Linux because, the ability to create your own operating system and do what you want with your device, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been having a ton of fun with that, getting all my rooted apps back, networking tools and networking intrusion tools and penetration testing tools is one of my hobbies and interests that I do as a side job. So the fact I can dual boot my phone, one side to Kali Linux and one side to the normal, well, now no longer normal, but Cyanogen Mod, is fantastic. So I have 2 operating systems on the phone and everything else. Absolutely fantastic. It's been good to me. So
Trevor and I went and saw a movie this week.
We did.
Which one?
Oh gosh.
Life of Pets.
Secret Life of Pets. Okay.
I figured.
So I am going to jump on my soapbox and rant, okay? The trailer I thought was funny. But going into it, like I said, Trevor, right?
Yeah.
I said this going in. I was afraid that all the best scenes were played in the trailer.
Yep.
Because those were funny scenes. Turns out that spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Secret Life of Pets, stop listening now. Skip ahead 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of the movie was the trailer. Everything that was in the trailer was the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then everything was completely different.
Yeah. It completely shifted gears.
Yeah. It was
Went a completely
weird.
different direction.
Pretty cliche, you could pretty much guess exactly what the next scene was going to be, what was going to happen, who was going to say what. But I mean, overall, it was a cute story. It's definitely a kids movie.
It had parts where we actually had us laughing.
Yeah, it had a few parts that were pretty hilarious. Such as they're traveling throughout the city and they're riding a hoist up a building and then a beam just takes out one of the dogs. It's pretty funny.
Just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, this thing just But it had a couple good scenes. Oh, do you want to bag on AMC?
Oh gosh.
We're gonna give them up as a sponsor.
Oh, gosh.
We're never gonna have AMC
Uh-oh.
as a sponsor.
What happened?
So we get there, and
With
we
plenty of time.
we had plenty of time. Where we're just like, you know what? Let's get some popcorn. And Cody's like, you talked me into it, so let's go. We're waiting in line. There's 2 lines, and we're waiting this one. One's longer, and we're just like, whatever.
This was also okay. It was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And there were only 2 people stabbed behind concession stand.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 people, but one was running back, doing like the popcorn and stuff. The other 2 were up register.
So 1 making the food, 2 running the registers.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this line is like huge, and we're sitting here, and like people are taking forever, and it's time's going on. We're like, we still have time. We're just waiting around, and we wait a little bit longer, and still it's taking forever to go anywhere.
By this time, the second line has dwindled down. There's like 2 people in line. And then I look back at our line, and our line's like going out the door. So logic states, right? Get in the next line. People are obviously not realizing that there's a second line, so get in line, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, we walk over there. We're waiting. It's our turn, and the lady across asks us if we're AMC.
Yeah,
Whatever, like,
AMC
the movie
club members
club member
or whatever.
things. We're like, no, and she's like, well, that line's only for those.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the entire second line is only for members of the AMC theaters. The line that we were originally in was for everybody else. So you mean to tell me you have 1 person working a typical line on Memorial Day weekend? Are you kidding me? So we were forced to go. We would have had to go to the back of the line.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes till the movie started.
And it was like, no, forget this.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, I didn't need popcorn
I
after all.
didn't need popcorn that bad.
Oh gosh.
Boycotting AMC from now on.
Yeah, that sucks. Did they have that second line by any way marked to be a special line?
Barely.
It's on the.
It was like the little separator things. It was on there,
Like
but like
the
you
rope
you
that
can't
separates
tell.
it.
And then there is a sign, but it's on like this little divider thing, and it's like pretty plain lettering, pretty plain colors. Nothing really stands out.
And we were already in the other line. We kind of just went through the rope
Yeah,
to get to the other line, so we didn't see any of that.
yeah. There's nothing specifically. There's no big sign saying members only. It was just basically like, if you look carefully, you could see the signs saying members and
Yeah, members and
peasants.
peons.
Serious. And like, I don't go to the movies enough, really.
Yeah.
Like the
I've-
last 3 times I've been has been the
I've
most in a
never
long time.
been in a theater like that has had a separate line for members.
I've never seen that. And it was
I've
just
never seen that.
dumb.
Did you see the pictures of my car and my adventures I've been on?
Yeah. I looked briefly at that.
No one else on the podcast has though.
Well, that's true. You can post a picture or 2 on there if you want. Just take the license plates out. But yeah, I mean, I took it out onto some dirt trails and climbed some hills and tried out the low range to see how good it was. And I was extremely impressed at the capabilities of that car.
Nice.
Pretty powerful.
Very. It was climbing. I mean, I guess I can't give you an angle. Let's see. That's 45 roughly. 50, 45.
It was climbing roughly at about a 70-degree angle of the obtuse side.
Well, picture in your mind's eye about 45 degrees up from the ground, and 45, 50, 60, and it was climbing it no problem.
Not bad.
So I was very impressed. And since there's 1, hardly anyone out here, and 2, you have to have a car or an ATV or something that can make it out there. When I got to the top and out to the pasture, there was no one there to bug me. So
Nice.
I went on a hike, and it was peaceful and beautiful, and there was no one else there. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
Awesome.
That's the best. Can't really get that around here. There's so many people.
No.
You have to travel to get away from people. Like super travel to get away from people.
Road trip, Cody?
Road trip. We're leaving.
Yeah, feel free to join me once I have a place to live.
We'll have to one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
Maybe after the holiday season.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, because your job is
My job
The
is the holiday
worst.
season.
that's the worst. We're starting to slow down.
I'm sure you'll probably slow down as
Winter's our slow time. Well, thank you, Alex, for being able to join in on the podcast. No, he's not here. He is still up in Idaho, but we are able to get him on the podcast. So that's good to have him back.
Yeah, I should be available most weekends for it, but we'll, it'll be fluid. It'll be, up in the air. So we'll see.
For sure.
Yeah, just let us know.
Stay tuned till next week, and we'll have another podcast. Check out the videos we've mentioned during this podcast, and check out our pages in the description. Talk to you later.
Later.
Take care.